Hey everybody, it's your boy Big Ben Chunko. You can find me on X at ChunkoBen, and I will be bringing you my Week 4 start and sit. Now everyone, it's Saturday. I waited a little long just because there's a ton of injuries. So I wanted to make sure things are accurate. Now, make sure you check your rosters on Sunday because things do change. So alright, we're going to jump right into it. The first game I have is New Orleans versus Atlanta. You got Chris Olave. He's definitely a start. Now, towards the end of the week, he got put on the injury report. So, you're going to want to keep an eye on that. Limited in practice, but he looks like he should play. So he's a start. Rashid Shaheed. He's also, he had a bad, he didn't have a great week last week, but I'm still going to say he's a start for this week. Then we got Drake London. We have Drake London start this week. And Darnell Mooney I would also use as a start this week. Then the Bengals and the Panthers. Jamar Chase, obviously, start, smash. T. Higgins, awful week last week, but I'm still going to say he's a start. Deontay Johnson, he was dealing with a groin injury, so he's one you want to keep an eye on also. Obviously, if he plays, he's a start. If he doesn't play for some reason, Xavier Legette would be a big start because Adam Thielen's out. I think in deeper leagues, you could probably go with Xavier Legette and feel okay about him. Rookie, so, I guess you really never feel okay about some of these rookies, but, deeper leagues, if you're dealing with injury, Xavier Legette would be an okay start, too. Chicago versus the Rams. DJ Moore, I'm starting DJ Moore. Here's one you got to keep an eye on is Keenan Allen. If he plays, DJ Moore is the only receiver I'm playing from Chicago. I'm not even going to play Rome Odunze. I know he had a good game last week. But, Keenan Allen's going to get in there. If Keenan Allen doesn't play, I think he'd be okay playing Rome Odunze. But there's just a lot of, ifs, ands, and buts about him. So you want to be careful there. Okay, for the Rams, DeMarcus Robinson. I would start him if I need him, but I don't like any of these Rams receivers. And, you just, sometimes you have to play with what you got. But if you need him, play him. Jordan Whittington, I'm sitting. Minnesota versus Green Bay. Justin Jefferson, always a smash start. Jalen Naylor, again, if needed, but I'm sitting him. And I'm also going to sit Jordan Addison because it looks like he's going to play, but he's coming back from an injury. So you never know what the usage is going to be on him. So you have to be careful there. And then Green Bay. Okay, it looks like, now I know he's a quarterback, but it looks like Jordan Love is going to play. He's been pretty limited in practice all week, but it looks like he's going to go. And if he goes, Jaden Reed and Christian Watson are both starts. And I would say Romeo Doubs, he would be like let's say you're 0-3 right now and you just want to, take that leap and hope. Romeo Doubs would be somebody I would put in my flex and roll with him. Jacksonville versus Houston. Christian Kirk, I'm starting. Brian Thomas Jr., I'm going to sit. And Gabe Davis, I'm going to sit. I think they're going to be better this week. But, you can't. T-Law has not looked great this year. And, Jacksonville and whole hasn't looked that great this year. So, I'm going to wait on them other guys. But, Christian Kirk, you probably drafted him, third, fourth round. So, you might need him. And you might be dealing with injuries. And he's probably better than anything you're going to find on the wire. So, and then Houston. Nico Collins, he was dealing with a hamstring injury also. Looks like he's going to play as of now. So, obviously, if he doesn't play, you're going to sit him. But if he does play, you're going to start him. And so this would leave open to me big with Stephon Diggs. If for some reason Tank Dell doesn't go, man, you smash stuff. If you have Stephon Diggs, you play DFS, I'll have him everywhere. So Stephon Diggs is a start. And Tank Dell still dealing with like that chest rib injury type of, I've seen some reports say chest, some say ribs, so they're in about the same area. So, so sit him, even if he plays, because he's been banged up. Pittsburgh versus Indy. George Pickens is always a start. And he's really the only Steeler I'm going to start as of now. And then for the Colts, you got Michael Pittman. He's been horrible, but I'm still going to start him because he's basically right now. You could go to the waiver wire and maybe find someone who has a better week. I mean, obviously, guys are going to have. We don't have a crystal ball, so we don't know who's going to be the boss this week. But I'm going with Michael Pittman nonetheless. Josh Downs, I'm still going to sit, and Alec Pierce, I'm going to sit. Denver versus New York. Cortland Sutton. I'm going to actually start Cortland Sutton only because I'm thinking the Jets are going to probably pound them out. Like I know Denver played a pretty good game last week, but I think Tampa Bay was just I think they were just one of those it happens to teams So, excuse my dog if you hear him barking. I don't know what his problem is. So Cortland Sutton, I'm going to start. I'm going to sit Josh Reynolds, and then Garrett Wilson. He has a. I'm going to start Garrett Wilson only because I believe you should always play your studs, even though he's going to be covered by Patrick Surtain. So, but I live by the phrase, never sit your studs. So that's just where I'm at with that. Allen Lazard. I actually think Allen Lazard's going to have a big game. So, I'm going to start him. I feel better with him in the flex. I mean, they play. It doesn't matter where you have him positioned. But I'm not going to sit any, of my studs for Allen Lazard. And then Mike Williams, I'm going to sit. Then you got Tampa Bay at Philadelphia. All right, Tampa Bay at Philadelphia. This one, okay. You got A.J. Brown. He's questionable, might play. Devonta Smith is out. So obviously A.J. Brown's a start if he plays. If he doesn't play for some reason, I'm going to pivot to Jahan Dotson. I know he didn't look great when A.J. Brown was out, but A.J. Brown's a better receiver than Devonta Smith, and I feel he'll take, some of the pressure off of Jahan Dotson, because in a lot of cases with A.J. Brown, you almost have to double team him. And so, I feel good with Jahan Dotson, in that position. And those are the only guys I have that I would play from Philadelphia receiving corps. And then they play Tampa Bay. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin's are auto starts unless they don't play. I seen they were on the injury list also. And beginning around this time of the year every year, there's some players will carry a questionable tag almost all year long. But they both have questionable tags. Obviously, if they play, they're automatic starts. If for some reason one of them are out, you could go to Jaleel McMillan, and I think he would be okay. Now, I also saw him as a questionable. That was more at the beginning of the week. So, you just got to, like I said, you got to watch it. You got to keep an eye on your rosters, check in the mornings. Don't set them tonight and then just, forget about them. Because that, it could hurt you. So, all right, Washington at Arizona. Terry McLaurin is a start. He's the only one from Washington I want a piece of receiver-wise at this point. I guess if you're really desperate, you could probably go with Luke McCaffrey. I mean, if you were super desperate, you shouldn't be that desperate yet. But if you were, he might be okay. Then for Arizona, Marvin Harrison Jr., he's a smash start at this point. Michael Wilson, I'd feel okay flexing. And Greg Dortch, I'd sit. New England and San Fran. The only New England receiver I'm really messing with is Demario Douglas, Pop Douglas, that's it. And so he's the only one, start him because they'll probably be behind. But even him, I'd be like, And for San Francisco, all right, it looks like, Brandon Ayuk, again, he's a start. And I'd go with Jawan Jennings. He's probably not going to be as productive. Well, I mean, obviously he had a great game with the 3 touchdowns. So he's not going to be as productive because George Kittle is going to play. Now Deebo Samuels is still out. So, but George Kittle's coming back, so that might cut into any work that Ayuk or Jawan Jennings would get. But I feel comfortable starting both of those guys this week. The Chargers and the Chiefs. Rashee Rice, I'm starting him. Xavier Worthy, I feel if you just need some kind of miracle play in the flex, I would go with him. But other than that, I'd sit him. And then for the Chargers, Quentin Johnson, I would start Quentin Johnson only because I feel, Chiefs are probably going to be putting the hurting down on him. I know a lot of people don't think it's going to be that way, but I do. And Lad McConkey, I'm going to sit Lad McConkey. And then we have Cleveland versus Las Vegas. Amari Cooper, I'm going to start. Jerry Jeudy is an if-needed kind of guy, I feel. He didn't do much last week. Well, he really didn't do anything last week. So if needed, I'd go with Jerry Jeudy, but you're hoping for a touchdown, really. That's what you're hoping for. And then with the Raiders, Devontae Adams is out. So to me, Jacoby Myers, smash start. He's going to be the one. Trey Tucker, I'd probably sit, even though he's going to be number 2. I mean, again, he's kind of like a Jerry Jeudy to me. If you want to get a little different, get different. Now, in DFS, I think Trey Tucker would be a good play. But in season long, I'm not as, I'm not as excited about him. And then we got Buffalo at Baltimore. Khalil Shakir, I'm starting. Keon Coleman, I'm sitting. And Curtis Samuels, I'm sitting. For Baltimore, Zay Flowers, I'm starting. Rashard Bateman, I'm sitting. Tennessee at Miami, Calvin Ridley's a start. DeAndre Hopkins, a desperation flex at this point. Tyreek Hill, obviously, is a start. Jalen Waddle, I'm still going to start these guys. I don't care who the quarterback is. I mean, you drafted them early. Again, studs will be studs no matter who throws to them. I mean, Justin Jefferson showed us that. You know what I mean? Studs are studs. Play your studs. Seattle versus Detroit. DK Metcalf's a start. Jackson Smith and the Jigba's a start. And I'm sitting Tyler Lockett. For the Lions, Amon St. Brown's a start, and Jameson Williams is also a start. Just remember, guys, make sure you're checking your teams. With all these injuries, you just can't set a lineup on Tuesday and think, I don't have to look at it again. I'm just going to roll with it. You have to be on there, especially if you want to win. Be on there, keep looking. Do your research. I'm not saying you only have to watch me because there's a million other people out there, but make sure you watch somebody. I prefer you watch me, obviously, but just make sure you're doing your research. All right, that's my week 4 wide receiver start and sit. You guys have a good one later.